now you have created your class, and I'm going to show you how to do all the game setup. It's very important because, as I said, it's each student, they will have their avatar, and then whatever they do at school, you can actually reward or deduct them points. So you still need to design the game rules and how much point you reward for certain behavior. So I'm going to show you how to do the setup. And once you click to, if it's your first time in your classroom, there's actually a setup wizard and tutorial, so you can follow it to set up your class step by step. But today, in this video, I'm not going to show you that. I'm going to because all these will be introduced to you in the workshop, face-to-face, in-person workshop. So what I want to show you right now in this video is when you go back home or go back to your workplace, and then you are going to set up another class. So how you can actually do all the class setting manually. On the sidebar, the menu bar, you can actually find class setting, this button. And then once you click to it, you can actually do all the setup for like creating users, or you can do the game setting or some other advanced setup. Okay, so this is where you go, class setting, and then you can change all the setup of your class here. Okay, and so I've created some students already here, but if you want to add more students, what you need to do is just click the icon add students, and then you can type in their first name and last name. And you can use a spreadsheet. You can copy and paste from a spreadsheet, like if you have a class list, or you can import students from Google Classroom. Since we don't use Google Classroom, we use ManageBack, so I would advise you to just copy and paste from a class list, and simply like this. Okay, using the first name and then last name, and then you can add a student there. Okay, like that. So here is added. Okay, but if you want to remove a student, you can click the edit icon on side, and then you can change the name and then delete and remove a student, like simply like that. So it's very, very easy. All right, after you add students to the account, of course you actually want to put them in teams, because this is one good thing about Classcraft. So like they have to do some peer learning together. So whatever they do, they will actually affect their peers as well under the team scores. So you can actually simply drag the students to the team. So for example, I have 8 students here. I want to split them into 2 teams. It's up to you whether you want your students to team up by themselves or you will assign teams to them. And when you drag them to the teams, and what I would do is I will ask them to think of a team name, and I'll change it for them, and also they can change the team logo as well. And when everything is done, then you don't really need to click any saving button. Yeah, you don't need to click save because it's auto saved. So that's it. Okay. And then of course you can click to parents, and then you can also invite parents to join the Classcraft, so that whatever good behavior that they do at home, their parents can reward them as well. But you also need to think of the fairness, because some parents, they may want to help the kids and add a lot of points to them. So, yeah, so there are pros and cons. So you need to decide whether you want to invite parents or not. But once you invite parents to join the platform, you can also communicate with parents through Classcraft as well, so they can message you as well. But if you don't want to do that, you better don't enable this function. Okay, and if we have a school account, we can do code teaching, but since we're not registering under school license, so we don't have this function. All right, after the basic user setup, then is where we actually can add the behavior and powers to the game setting. So what is it? So basically is, for example, there's a default one here, setting a goal and working towards it. So this one is too general, so it's very hard to reward points, and you don't know when to reward points regularly. So what I would suggest is you can always add behavior to it. So for example, complete weekly journal. Okay, so then this one maybe is a high priority, then you can actually give more points, experience points. So these are the points that they can actually level up and then get more gears, change their costume, and raise their pets. And of course, you can also give a physical reward at the end, like you can give them some gift based on the points that they can get on the platform. So this is what we are talking about. All right, so for example, if you say, oh, they finish a weekly journal, then you check it weekly as a homeroom teacher, and then you want to reward them with points, then you can do it. And then just click save, and it's auto save here. You can always edit it by change. If you say there's a typo, you want to add more points, you can always edit and delete the points system. Okay. And then afterwards, you can take a look at the power. And you can say that there are some universal powers. It means everyone will have that. And someone for the particular role. So when students sign up their account, they can actually choose to be a mage, or they can choose to be a guardian, or they can choose to be a healer, or yeah. So with different roles, they actually have different powers. So if they actually lose all the points in the team, if they are a mage, or the member lose all the points in the team, if they're a mage, they can actually help another student to recover their powers, something like that. So you can tailor-make all these power. So what are powers? Powers are simply they can use their points or levels to redeem some privilege in class. So for example, they can give extra time to complete a classroom activity, they can skip homework for once, etc. But of course, it has to fit in with the school rules, so you may want to change it later. The names are there, so I think it's pretty cool. We don't need to change it. We just need to change the details of the powers. If you're okay with all the powers, then you don't need to change any of it. Okay. At the end, there are some rules as well. So for example, there's some class progression, how many chapters they can go through. I think we can explore this later on when we finish all these basic setup, and you can play with it, and then yeah, we'll see what it means later on. And how much point you want them to level up. There are 18 levels in total. So if they have 18 levels, they are already the expert. So you can decide, okay, if you are going to give them a lot of points for a lot of tasks, then maybe you want to make it a little bit more challenging for each level, maybe 2,000 points or 3,000 points. Yeah, so you can add additional points or levels, etc. like that. You can also do all these settings. So and also if you want to reset to default, you can do this, or save changes. So yeah, take a look at this. You can, I'm sure you'll enjoy playing with it as well. It's a little bit complicated, complex, but it will be fun if you set all these rules and then you really play with it with your class. And then also the interface, how you want it to look like. Okay, you can do all these. And if you have another class, you can import setting. For example, next year you want to do all these settings. You don't want to repeat doing all this setup again. Then you just need to import from certain class. And you can also choose the if you have any apps to connect. Okay, well, but if you don't, then you don't need to do this. Okay. So let's go back to the setup. So basically, that's it for the class setting. And at the end, if you want to delete a class, you archive it. But once you archive it, you cannot change the student data, and they will keep a student data, add them to another class. Yeah, if you don't add them and archive it, they will be gone. Okay, so make sure you add them before you archive it. But don't worry, I don't think you need to do it. Probably I'll do it at the end of the year for you. So basically that's it once it's done. Yeah, but of course once you click the class dashboard, nothing much can be seen, because right now the students you haven't sent invitation code for them to create their account. So I will show you another videos later on and how it looks like when a student account is set up. Okay, so this video is simply to show you how to do the basic class setting manually in your class. I hope it's clear enough. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Okay, thanks.